She was just murdering these cats left and right, man.
Yeah, she started clapping people. Like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah, it was on some Karen shit too, man. You know what I mean? Because she was a vile character, man, a vile human being, man. You know what I'm saying? A despicable bitch.
You know what I didn't like though? I didn't like that when Doctor Strange went to her and she was like, "Oh yeah, I knew you was gonna come for me." What I did was fucked up. I knew, somebody was gonna come holler at me for this, right? And initially, he was just like, "Yeah, I came. Yeah, you did what you did. It was fucked up, but you made it right in the end." Like, no, you didn't make it right in the end. You know what I'm saying? You kept people against their will and mind fucked them
It's
and did
slavery.
all this stuff for a month. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to go away, and I'm gonna forgive you up until I find out you the bad guy. Now, what you did was despicable, and you got to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? It
That's why I
just
say it's a Karen attribute.
what she did was despicable, and you excusing it.
I thought he was just finessing just to get what he needed from her. Like, yeah.
Nah, she
Mhm,
it was on cool terms until she showed her hand. That
mhm,
she knew her name already. Then
Yeah.
you know what
mhm,
I'm saying, the wheels started turning like, hold on, I didn't tell you the name. She was like, all right,
mhm.
fuck all this bullshit. Then show him that he was in Armageddon. Like, yo, give up the goods, I'm gonna murder everybody. That's basically what she said. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Fuck
Hey,
that bitch,
that
man.
was a lit ass movie, man.
Yeah, it
I
was.
couldn't understand. Like, what I didn't understand was Wong, man. I still feel like Wong and the Dora Milaje are not heroes. They should not be forefront. You know what I'm saying? They just secondary characters. And
Hmm.
for Wong to be the Sorcerer Supreme, right? He didn't do nothing in the
He's sorcerer,
entirety
he's
of the
sorcerer
movie.
supreme by default, though.
Yeah, but I mean, you still Sorcerer Supreme, bro. He didn't do nothing the entire movie. Nothing, man.
I
He's
He
mean,
not
didn't
as
do
good
nothing.
as Strange.
she
He's
came she came through on her one man army tip too. So
I mean, but he was just so lacking, man, across the board. Like he didn't help with the defense of the shield. All he did was throw out a lot of commands. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't capable at all. And I'm like, okay, the king's back, bro. All right, Strange back, man. You know how it is. You put in the work, appreciate you holding it down, but you know what I'm saying? He back. You know what I'm saying? It's over with.
look,
But
that was
I'm like, how he's still Sorcerer Supreme and he can't do nothing though. He's not capable as Strange is.
I don't condone any wand slander. So I
Man,
don't.
Juan is
Juan's
whack.
dope.
Yeah,
Man, no,
Juan's
he
dope.
ain't, man.
He
What's so dope about him?
he got great one-liners.
yeah,
Man,
man.
he's lame.
He's a perfect entertainment piece. You
I mean,
know.
Yeah, man.
he's with the quips and he's funny and stuff, but no, he's not a forefront character, man. He's just a secondary guy, man. I was like, okay,
He's
this
not a
shows that he's not capable. The whole movie just
Yeah.
proved why he
Quips
shouldn't
and
be
chuckles.
Sorcerer Supreme, man.
Quips
right.
and chuckles.
But I mean, like Fresh said, it's to a default though. We don't expect Wong to be the guy like that. He instantly was fodder compared to Wanda.
No, bro. He's
You know what
supposed
I'm
to
saying?
be Sorcerer Supreme. He's supposed to be
He
the
is
shit.
though. He's the
Uh,
strongest, but like literally, you have the ancient one who was Sorcerer Supreme for forever. Then came Strange, and Strange get blipped out for 5 years. Who was going to take on that task? You know what I'm saying? Who else? He was de facto, like, yo, I got to take care of it. And he took care of it. You didn't hear about nothing incredulous happening during those 5 years. You
That's
know what I'm
because the
saying?
world
Look,
was reeling from half the whole planet being dead. Of
but it ain't
course,
got
ain't
shit to
gonna be
do with the
nothing.
dark realm, though. You know what I'm saying? Demons
Yeah.
are demons, spirits are
Mm.
spirits. You know what I'm saying?
But this movie, it really was very good in a lot of ways. I felt it was paced just a little too fast in spots. Sam Raimi kind of. No, I kind of did. Sam Raimi paced it out very quickly to get the movie over with. But as an MCU fan and all that type of stuff, you probably wanted just a tick more. But what he
Yeah.
gave you was pretty damn good in a sense. And like we already talking, Wanda's got to be one of the best villains MCU
The
has
best.
done. Period. You call her the best. You take her over Thanos. Let me hear your
Facts.
thoughts on
Well, she's probably arguably the most despicable human being in the Marvel universe. You know, I even made a checklist, you know what I'm saying, about how terrible she was. She was a slave master, you know what I mean? She enslaved hundreds and then had the world whitewashed, you know what I mean? Like that shit didn't happen. All right?
Mhm.
Like literally, like the first slave ship that came across here could have been called the Wanda. You know what I'm saying? That's how terrible she was. You know what I'm saying? Despicable human being. She has no redeeming qualities. Literally, we just about to talk about, she did the one-man army thing. Don't forget, man, like imagine you just Johnny come lately, chilling, living your life, you and your family and your dog, and this despicable being come over, take over your mind and have her living her dreams for over a month in your town. You can't sleep. All you see is her horrific dreams that she have in her mind. You know what I'm saying? She's a terrible bitch. Man,
Hey, but you know,
hold on, check
hey.
this out. Hold on, let me get this off. Before you do that, right? Like we waited over 10, 12, 11 years to see the Fantastic Four and the X-Men enter this MCU. And she just killed them off like fodder. You know what I'm saying? Like fodder. Like literally, when I was in the theater, everybody was like, yeah, there go Fantastic, Mr. Fantastic. Oh, there go the Picard, you know what I'm saying? X-Men, Xavier. You know what I'm saying? That shit only lasted 10 minutes. What else, man?
Oh, that's the beauty of the multiverse.
Yeah.
Like,
They still exist. Yeah.
I understand, but like, you know what I'm saying? And then think about this, right? Thanos had a purpose. He saw the universe could not sustain itself. Its resources could not sustain unless, you know what I'm saying, you dwindle the population. Like logically that makes sense. Serves a purpose. That bitch had no redeeming qualities, man. She had a walking dildo for a boyfriend, and then she fucked around and was like, yeah, I have kids. So she made them shits. So she literally went to war with the world off her thoughts. And a robot did.
But they did exist though. She made them.
Exactly.
That's
that
power.
Karen bullshit.
Yeah, she made them out of nothing. You know, she's a mother, man.
I like her arc, overall arc. If you follow her, and if you follow her from the beginning, you'll notice two things: that her accent disappeared is one thing, and totally disappeared, and she totally went from anti-hero to complete villain. So I don't know.
She always been a villain in my eyes.
That's what I was gonna say, man. That's what I was gonna say, man. If you think about it, man, she's been a villain from the jump. The heroes just didn't realize it.
Speak on it.
Once she blew up that building with all them people in it, what was that Civil War?
Yeah, she was happy.
You know what I'm saying? She blew that building up, bro. That
was supposed to be.
It wasn't intentional, right? But I don't know, bro.
Intentional. That was intentional.
I don't know. They might do a flashback. She might have liked it, that man. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that can just enter, anybody that can enter people's minds and manipulate their thoughts and their dreams and stuff. You know, you got to be a pretty dark and twisted person to think on that level. Like, you know what? I'm gonna just go in his mind and just mind fuck him. You know what I'm saying? That's a pretty dark person.
How did you feel about what was it called, the dream hopping? I thought that was a pretty crazy.
That was dope, man. I liked it that because I'm like, so what? You know, once they jump, I say even just the sequence and kind of touching back on what y'all was saying about the reality hopping and how short the film was. I wanted to see more of that, man. That was just dope, just to see them falling through all those different universes. Man, they really pulled out the stops, man. That shit was amazing, man. Just seeing them, and you kind of wanted to explore each place that they went through. You know what I'm saying? And I just felt like I wanted to see at least one or two more realities. You know what I'm saying? I felt like they I felt like it, halfway through the film, man, I was like, damn, this shit gonna be over pretty soon. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted the ride to be a little bit longer, man. So they did a very good job, man.
I'd rather just keep all the haymakers going and just keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, just hit you a couple times, a couple knockout punches, and move along. Because they could have added on a good 40 minutes on this to actually flesh it out. But then I would take away the actual mythos of it. Like, it's like, okay, she's here, she did her job. Now, mind you, similar to the Batman movie, nobody could stop her. She was that OP. No one could stop her. She had to kill herself. Well, Marvel being Marvel, she's probably not dead right now. But
yeah, I mean, I enjoyed that dreamwalking shit because I'm like, damn. All right, once they jumped through that other reality, I'm like, damn, how could she really pursue that? But when they said she could pursue you across all realities, that just showed how powerful and terrifying she was, man. And then the fact that she could just take over any version of herself and send herself after you, that was just dope, man. That was some of the best writing I've seen. It. I don't know. I've grown tired of like the Marvel formula, but when you have like such a prolific director as like Sam Raimi, right? He left his stamp on it, even though it's a Marvel film. It was like the perfect merging of him and Kevin Feige, man. I saw both of their visions intertwined perfectly, straight down the middle. And we got a perfect Marvel film, but we got a pretty solid horror film at the same time. It was some of the best, one of the best movies I've seen, period,
It did live up to that name, Multiverse of Madness. Sam brought a lot of the crazy that he's known for. And we didn't get a chance to record it, but like you were mentioning, man, some of this stuff was, it kind of is hitting that borderline of kid friendly. And I know a couple people that their little conspiracy brains will go crazy watching this movie, because we're talking zombie possessions, demon control, all kinds of stuff that get the little tinfoil hat guys going. I thought it was a fantastic scene into what Sam can do. Like I said, I only just wanted it to tick more. I thought Cumberbatch held it down pretty well. And And what's his cape's name? Because his cape pretty much was the star of the show for me.
I don't know.
Cloak.
Yeah, I think it's Cloak. I don't think it has a name.
As an internet meme said, Cloak had more personality than Captain Marvel's had in like 3 movies. So I'm like,
facts.
Yeah, So shout out to Cloak, the unsung hero. I did appreciate how they actually made Wanda OP, because that gives a look into other characters that exist in the MCU that could potentially come through and just knock the doors off of all kinds of situations. Where do you guys figure America is going to fit into the story? Because her power is, like we talked about, a one-off, and it's gonna have to be readdressed at some point, or she's gonna have to come up at some point again. But I don't know where you guys see her fitting in at.
Honestly, man, I'm thinking both. We're gonna see both her and Scarlet Witch again, right? But the thing is, I'm thinking it's gonna be like more of like a teen movie that we're gonna see them, and we know how powerful they are, and
OP,
it's just like that trope of where the villain is so dope. Like we talked about the Power Rangers, how Tommy was the Green Ranger, he was just popping these cats for like 3 weeks by himself, right? Then all of a sudden he becomes a good guy and he ain't shit. He can't fight no more. He ain't as capable. Right. I feel like that's what's gonna happen with both of them, man. They're not gonna be as capable once they like join up with a bigger squad. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking Scarlet Witch, the one from that other reality, and America Chavez end up joining the Avengers at some point. And you gotta, just realistically, man, they can mop the floor with. Because if Wanda was operating at this level, Thanos stood no chance, man. No chance, man. No chance. You have to. It's like having Superman in the story. Like really, like you have to do something to limit his ability, because it's just not. It's not reasonable to believe that Superman could be on the scene and y'all lose. Like it's impossible. You know what I'm saying?
Technically, she was giving them hands in was it Endgame? You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
it
Then he
was.
was like, yo,
Yeah,
fuck
but
all
she
that. Let me
operating
murder
like
everybody.
10 times over where she was in Endgame now, bro.
Facts. You right about that though. I can't deny
She
that.
had the mystic book, you know, and I appreciate the Olsen chick's acting in that moment where she had the book. She's trying to rock him to sleep. Doctor Strange, that is, and you could just tell she was having all the way corrupted, you know, and she just, you know, burst out to what it is. Pound for pound, dollar for dollar, yeah, she probably is better than Thanos, because if Thanos didn't have the rings, she might toe to toe Scarlet Witch versus Thanos. Yeah, I think she's got him. You know what I mean? So that's
I think even with that, with the Darkhold now, man, even with him having the rings, man, she would get that dude a run for his freaking money, man. The shit she could do was terrifying.
That they, if you ain't noticed, what we noticed, like the Darkhold was so powerful, the whole was the Vasanti shit didn't even map out to be even strength, to be strong for Strange, but like, they destroyed him in every universe, almost like, all right, we can't use this shit no more. We can't use this as a plot point because it's way too strong, especially in the hands of this evil bitch. You know what I'm saying?
I don't agree with that stuff. And that's the Marvel way or the MCU way of not understanding something and killing it off, man. Like the Darkhold has like a lot of connections, man. Ghost Rider's tied to that. The Midnight Suns, you know what I'm saying? Blade and the supernatural community. The Darkhold has a lot of power in that shit. That's how Doctor Strange cast that spell to banish all vampires from the earth. You know what I'm saying? The Darkhold is a powerful ass. That's a tome, man.
I don't think we're done with it.
I don't agree with destroying that shit like that. You know, you can't just like, all right, we don't want to see this no more. That's one aspect. That's one bullet that's spent. Like, no, like that shit is like something in the background that's running. You know, criminal organizations. Everybody's always after the Darkhold. Even if you get a couple pages or one page out of that shit, it's life changing for you, man. There's power in that. I didn't like that the Book of Ashanti. I'm like, he got to the book, and first off, they was just kind of playing around. Like, if I got this woman on my heels, I'm not, you know, when you running from something, you run it like hard.
Yeah.
Like, man, I'm jumping through this door. I'm running up there. I'm snatching the book down. I'm opening it up because, like, she is murdering without hesitation. This is not your friend no more. You can't talk to her. She's chasing you across realities, and y'all stumbling and looking at each other, pausing and shit. I'm like, come on, man, what the fuck? This is typical horror movie shit that y'all doing, tripping over nothing and pausing and hesitating and all this shit. I'm trying to get to this book. You know what I'm saying? This book is supposed to be giving me what I need to stop this crazy motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Then he get the book, he open it, and I'm like, did he not understand what he was looking at or something? But they never revisited the book. We don't know what the full extent of that book could do. Right. We saw it in the beginning, and we saw it in the end. Yeah, she started burning the pages, so that just kind of let you know, like, but he didn't even really read the book. The book can't defend itself. He got to read it and apply what it's telling him to do.
I honestly don't think that'll be the last time you see either of those books. I don't. I hope not. They're way too connected to a lot of storylines. You can't just get rid of them. But I do appreciate how the blending of all these styles, and even if, you know, it was something like What If brought to life, I do appreciate that too as well. Only thing I don't know is it doesn't solve the question of what happens next. Are we going to see Kang in every damn story now? I mean, you know, going forward.
I mean, you got two major plot points going. You got Kang and you got Incursions. The Incursions is way worse than fucking Kang, man. Yeah, you got the end of all. I mean, you got the end of all reality. I didn't know how they could wrap everything together cohesively, because when you started the MCU off, you only had a select few characters, right? But then as time is going on through litigation or whatever and buying out other companies and stuff, they've got their full catalog outside of the Spider-Man shit with Sony, right? So you got all these characters And I'm like, well, how can you cohesively put all these characters in? And we talked about this at length on screen and off screen. And just like, how can you bring in the X-Men at this point? You can't keep saying that everybody with these crazy ass power levels was existing out there and just decided to not act and help people in need. That's not how these characters operate. You know what I'm saying? The mutant community wouldn't just stand around while there's, Thanos was there. The Eternals really wouldn't. So you got a lot of powerhouses that was existing, and you say, okay, well, we was here, but we just didn't rock with the humans. We didn't help them because we don't. You know what I'm saying?
Reasons.
And I was like, I just don't see how you can introduce the Fantastic Four and the X-Men and that. But the way that they're doing this stuff, man, I see the end of the track, man. And the encouragements is gonna be how they bring Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four and the X-Men and all those different characters into one universe. And that's what I'm looking forward to. That's true Marvel, seeing Tony Stark and Mr. Fantastic, you know what I'm saying, in the same room. That's what a solid MCU movie would be for me, seeing all these characters interacting with each other.
I am glad they formally announced that the MCU is the 616. Even though, despite they took a lot of 1610, aka the Ultimate Universe's touches, but I do like at least put that out there. Like, finally, okay. Now,
and see, these are things the casual MCU fan will never understand. They didn't understand 616. They don't really understand like the importance of the incursions. But you got characters like Hyperion. I mean, it's a lot of powerful ass characters out there, man. Like earth-shattering characters that's existing on these other, you know what I'm saying, on these in these other realities, man. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not even I'm sure the Guardians of the Galaxy. What's the cat's name? The Starjammers. I'm pretty sure at some point they're gonna have to come and make their presence known. Because Hyperion was one of them, right?
Oh, that's the ones that was trying to stop the incursions, right?
I'm not even sure. I know
it's
they
like a team, a squad or something, right?
Yeah, it was space bandits, but I don't think they was worried about incursions. Yeah. All I know is they was causing chaos, and let me look it up real quick. I know I'm not crazy. When you said
Starjammers,
it made me think of that.
While you're looking that up, it's safe to say this is probably the most beautiful Marvel movie I've ever seen. Like the CGIs was such a seamless integration with real reality. Like you couldn't tell the difference. Like, geez, like it like. So I went to see it on the Epic screen, so gigantic screens, and it was a lot to take in. Yep. You know what I mean? And like, especially when previously mentioned when they was going through realities where it was paint. You know what I mean? It was real flavorful. You know what I'm saying? Before that bitch took over with the horror films and all that good stuff. But like just the lightheartedness of going through the realities was pretty amazing.
Yeah, and I agree with Will. I wanted a lot more of that. You didn't have to like show me everything. And in fact, there was something that came up in group chat. That could have been the moment where you introduced Deadpool to take over for Stan Lee, because you got to keep that going too, right? That little Easter egg thing, that would have been a perfect reason. Oh shit, there's a Deadpool, but that's neither here nor there. But I do agree, Fresh, that was probably one of the doper effects. And the wild thing is about this whole movie is that the original director got replaced later on, and there was reshoots and things of that nature, and changes to the story, and they still pulled off pretty much a great one. I guess Sam might have just had something perfectly in mind, and Marvel let the reins go all the way, unlike Fox, because this one because Sam did all three of the Spider-Mans in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This one felt, even, and shout out to the Bruce Campbell appearance, this one felt like an official lightweight Sam Raimi movie, starring a hero. You know what I mean? And honestly, Doctor Strange, I don't even know if he's a likable guy as a character, but he makes entertaining products. You know, he's a character you have to care about. The shit he's going through definitely affects all of the world. So he's pretty important. You like him?
I'll say this, man. I he was one of the characters I really did like reading about. You know, when I was reading comics heavy, and that first Doctor Strange, you know, I'm like, okay, he's a prick. You know what I'm saying? And even throughout, anytime we've seen him on screen, in game, it don't matter. It's just like the character never really grew on me, but I like the characters. Like they really got the essence of Doctor Strange, because I didn't really believe that he would like tear apart reality for Peter, but like opening up the dark hole and like risking his soul is something he would do. He does like crazy shit like that, but like, what's his name, Cumberbatch, man, he made me a fan of his, man. He did a hell of a job. It's like they really dialed in on the character and they get the essence of the character. And when old girl, Rachel McAdams, is character, his girlfriend, told him to basically master, you know, those spirits and bend them to his will, and him just like shaking, trying to master them, and just basically making them his, you know, subservient to his will, man. I was like, man, that was the best part of that movie for me. Him turning them into his cape and going to war with Wanda, man. And that's the whole scene of him doing the necromancy, man. That was dope, man. I'm like, man, this is so not Marvel. This is DC shit. You know what I'm saying? You are incorporating like that horror type element into, like, you know, you got the CGI machine. You already got like a solid ass base. And I kind of felt like what y'all was saying. It's like Kevin Feige loosened the reins enough to let somebody else put their spin on it, but still stay within the reins of a story that he's trying to tell. And that was dope, man.
Now, to clean up what I said earlier, I was thinking of Gladiator, who's out there that could.
The Shi'ar Empire.
Yeah.
Okay.
We went back and did something like that. But
yeah, that's just on the aliens they really didn't mention yet. You know what I mean? So yeah, because
you got to introduce the X-Men for them though. The X-Men, because the Shi'ars are mutants. The Shi'ar are tied to the mutants as well, just like the Inhumans. There are Inhumans on Earth, but then you got other planets with Inhumans on it as well. And I gotta say, man, Black Bolt, I hadn't seen the movie yet, but and the internet did a very good job as far as like spoilers and shit, right, for the movie. But I saw that somebody posted like, yeah, this guy died the worst. So I'm like, oh, I wasn't supposed to see that yet. You know what I'm saying? And I went and saw the movie, and what she did to that man, whew, that was probably
I don't know if it's worse.
That was probably the most gruesomest way I've seen somebody die in a movie in a very long time, bro.
Didn't she put the mouth cover over him and he tried to speak?
No, she didn't take. She took his mouth from him.
Yeah. And
he panicked and went to open his mouth because he wanted to probably blow a hole because he didn't understand his mouth wasn't there no more. And it reflected off his mouth and went up into his skull and blew his brains out. Damn.
Yeah, that was graphic for a Marvel cinematic movie. That was
very graphic.
How she did Mr. Fantastic was also graphic. I mean, it was like
it's pretty gruesome.
I don't believe that Captain Marvel was dead, because even base level, you can't crush them. They just way denser and stronger anyways. You can't crush her. I was like, damn, are any of them gonna live through this? And she just murdered everybody. And especially once it got down to Captain Carter and Miss Marvel. I know Captain Marvel could, like, because she could go to a whole nother level of strength. Like, she's way more powerful than they've shown her to be, right? So she hasn't even like tapped into like her energy form. So I was thinking that she was gonna get so desperate that she would, go to that level. But just pushing herself really pushed Wanda, because that shows you that Captain Marvel is can operate and push Wanda to her max. You know what I'm saying? That's how powerful Captain Marvel is. But I'm like, Captain Carter stood no chance, man. I was like, man, how long is this foolery going? How long we gonna believe this?
She got sliced in two.
Yeah, that whole thing was fan service, but it was fan service done right, done well.
Facts.
So I respected it, you know, because Captain Carter, she's been riding with the Marvel verse since day one, and it for me it kind of paid off to see her come to life as Captain Carter, even though she did go out kind of horrifically. That moment was worth it for me. Where do you guys foresee? So at the end of the movie, Strange gets his third eye. Will speak on that for me, because I didn't understand that personally, and I don't know how the casuals want to feel about that if they stayed long enough to watch the secondary scenes and whatnot.
Well, basically, the Darkhold has got a hold on him, and it's a price to pay, and that's one thing I like about Doctor Strange. He has like y'all remember like when in the comics where it was World War Hulk, right? So when the Hulk came back, everybody was vying for whatever power that they could get, right? So Tony started working on stuff. Mr. Fantastic started working on stuff. T'Challa started working on stuff. Doctor Strange turned to the Darkhold because he needed more power. And when he does it, I forgot what that version of Doctor Strange is, but he gets like these maces on his hands and he has this mask, right? But it exacts a toll on his soul. You know what I'm saying? When you start fucking with that dark magic, man, it's coming for you in the end. And it's been plenty of times where Strange pays a massive toll, and it's coming for him. And in the end, I'd imagine that we're gonna see Mosquito pretty soon, because all that power that he's borrowing, and that's what I'll say about like the Strange, and that's what I didn't like about Wong. You know, you are tapping into God level beings. You're tapping into their power. He can tap into Juggernaut's power, the rings of Sidorak. He can tap into Bast's power. You know what I'm saying? He could tap into all these different gods and call down power and not be avatars of these different gods. You know what I'm saying? That's the sorcerer supreme. And I didn't appreciate in like Wanda's series how they kind of shitted on Strange and said, well, yeah, she's a Nexus being, she's more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme. In my mind, I felt like it was super wokish, but then I'm like, you know what? She is more powerful than him. She can shape and change reality. But in his own right, he is terrifying. So the third eye, it's kind of like, I don't know, because what they did was they changed the eye of Agamotto, because Eye of Agamotto is his third eye in the comics, the little eye that he wears on his what's the name, right, on his lapel. Right. But they changed that into an Infinity Stone. So, you know, they just kind of playing loose with it. But the third eye was the eye of Agamotto, but they changed it into the Time Stone. You know what I'm saying? So I guess this is a Darkhold type thing in the MCU.
No, I get that. It's kind of funny how it all worked out, though. But in the end, what do you foresee the sequel to this one going? Because obviously,
him and Clea, that's his ride or die right there.
Yeah, that's Rachel gonna become his wife.
Yeah, that's his woman, right? That's his soulmate right there. Him and Clea gonna be on some G shit trying to stop the incursions. It's gonna be some dope. That's gonna be dope, man. I'll say, they are really ramping up, and I'm liking the character more and more as time progresses. It's not like back in the 80s, 90s, the first movie was the best, and then the second and third ones was just a money grab. But like they're really upping the stakes and doing it better and taking you on a journey. Now it's good storytelling.
Yeah, it is, and honestly, it kind of wets everybody's whistle for the Thor Love and Thunder, because that's up next.
You still think we're gonna see elements of the multiverse in that?
Yeah, they opened it up all the way. Once once Kane got shanked by the female Loki, I thought that's going to be the premise of every movie, somehow. Like even Spider-Man, Spider-Man dealt with it. Actually, I think it didn't it start with the Miles Morales Spider-Man. Actually, where they started the
And I
doing the.
know that Spider-Man, that new one is supposed to be heavily influenced by it. But I feel like that Spider-Man, from Spider-Man, the last Spider-Man to this movie, it wasn't consistent because this movie kind of started off on some day-to-day life shit. I thought at the end of Spider-Man for Strange, reality was cracking apart. Like he was putting bubble gum and duct tape on stuff just to keep it together. So we're gonna have to assume that he got it all wrapped up before his movie started, and then he met America Chavez because without like a America Chavez or like reality like really falling apart on its own, and we getting these other characters seeping into the 616 universe, um, I don't really think that we're gonna see any like multiversal stuff in Thor. I think it's just gonna be a one shot like Thor story.
Well, you still got the tease with the female Thor in there somehow, so that's where I'm in there thinking.
Well, because Jane became Thor, and that's not like a multiversal thing. Jane exists. Mjolnir, he put no effort into like repairing. Maybe it repaired itself because it's a sentient weapon. So maybe it repaired itself. And in the comics, it was dope because Jane was dying, and every time she became Thor, her cancer was halted. But every time she changed back, it took a toll on her body and she got worse. She was dying even quicker. Every time she changed, it halted it, but it made it worse when she depowered herself. So I don't know. I'm starting to feel like it might not be any multiversal thing because the multiverse isn't breaking apart. We didn't, I don't know, maybe the incursions, Charlize Theron, Clea, said that, they got to stop incursions. Maybe we might see it, but I just think it's just going to be a self-contained Thor story.
Yeah.
Most likely it's going to happen around the same time period that this happened, but so that like even though we into the mystical realm of Marvel with a Strange, it's still they tap it on the intergalactic version of all this shit with the Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy. You know what I'm saying? So I can see them hinting at it because it makes no sense to actually do a one-off and not tie everything in. It makes no sense to actually do that logically for the storytelling. So because like the Hemsworth might be leaving the MCU, but the Guardians of the Galaxy are still there. So unless they come across some new, because remember the trailer, you dealt with some other guys. You dealt with was that Zeus was popping in the trailer and all that, you know what I'm saying? So it can be intertwined, and I see it being intertwined
to a degree. I feel like it has to be. But we thought that, well, at least I thought that Doctor Strange would be like a catalyst Marvel movie, and I don't think it was at all. So despite the incursions being a huge problem, huge problem, I think that's just going to be a vehicle to introduce a lot more licenses that Marvel got back. And if they do it right, it could work. I don't want to, because I think they're going to bank on the next 10 years of this. And to be honest, Phase 4 is kind of feeling super fast. I don't know if you guys are getting that same vibe.
I appreciate it. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't long walk it. Just haymakers, man. Just haymakers left and right.
Just make it as good a storytelling as this movie was. If you can do that, and kind of going back to the point you said earlier, if they had to put Deadpool in this, if that would have just been a cherry on top, man. This was a great movie, man. I don't really see what they could have done to make it any better, honestly. I thought we would have saw some X-Men outside of Professor X, but just seeing him in a room, I've never really just been a big character of Captain Carter, but that lady was born to play that character. You know what I'm saying? Mordo, just it was dope, man. We're so used to seeing like Tony and Steve and Black Bolt, Black Panther being the Illuminati, but that Illuminati was very capable, and it was dope just to see Mr. Fantastic pop up. You know what I'm saying? So, and then just the level of awareness he was and how smart he was. He was aware of the different realities, and as soon as they said the Baxter, they dropped a lot of names too, man. In that
Bruh,
movie, I was like, "Oh
they
hell
introduced his
yeah!"
kids, man.
Yeah, he said the Baxter Foundation. I said, "Oh hell yeah, here we go." You know what I'm saying? Now, just and that's all it takes, man. Just world build. Just keep building your world out, fleshing everything out. And he was aware of the multiverse. He was aware of of where Strange came from. How dangerous he could be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he knew exactly where he came from. I wonder, but they never really addressed why the Baxters aren't a thing in the 616 from the movie reasons. Obviously, we know why contractually.
I mean, but they're not Nexus being, so you might have some realities where they don't. Now, that's just good storytelling.
It might be the ultimate version. You know what I'm saying? Because like the ultimate version, they kids. You know what I'm saying? In the 616, so they could be coming up. You know what I mean?
That would be dope.
But like, I appreciate that. Like when Reed was talking to Wanda and was like, "Yo, I got 2 kids too." You know what I'm saying? That introduces Franklin Richards, which is arguably the strongest person ever in Marvel history, where he made Galactus his herald. You know what I'm saying? It was a wild comic arc in itself. So like, it really opens the door for some amazing storylines of where they could go, because anytime they get backed up against the wall, they always could pull. They already talk about time travel. They always could pull the card of, hey, we got Franklin Richards. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, man, that's some dope ass storytelling. Because if the internet thinks that Wanda's reality shaping powers are powerful, like I know Comics Explained, he did a real good job, like a breakdown of power levels, right? Wanda operates on a level where she can reshape reality on Earth, right? But Franklin does it on a universal scale. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could change life on other planets. You know what I'm saying? So
he was creating little universes in his bedroom on the covers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so like this literally, because like you think about the way they building this universe is almost like shonen, where all right, we got this villain, they strong, we defeat this villain, now we got to defeat another stronger villain, so we have to get stronger, and then you introduce more characters that are stronger and things of that nature. But now, you know what I'm saying, you have introduced arguably your ace in the hole. Like, all right, if we can make this universe the most fucked up possibly ever, with Kang, with could bring a nihilist, could bring a whole bunch of fucked up human beings. Wanda could be even do some zombie Wanda shit. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know what I'm saying, they bring her into the live universe and destroy everything, or bring the zombies in the real thing. You know what I'm saying? You got Frankie Richards to change everything back to whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like I
gotta bring up a point. I don't know, man. I don't know if y'all feel like what I'm thinking, but I think it's gonna be some repercussions for killing Black Bolt. I think it's gonna be some repercussions for killing Mr. Fantastic, and Professor X. They all they squads don't play, man. None of they squads play. The X-Men don't play when it come to Professor X. You know what I'm saying? You went off one day to go hang with your friends, as far as they know, because people don't know that they're part of the Illuminati, right? So all of a sudden you turn up dead. Black Bolt is the king of the Inhumans. It's gonna be consequences for him just showing up dead. You know what I'm saying? Who killed him? The X-Men are not gonna take that land down. I don't know. I just hope it's not one of those Marvel things where they kind of introduce a concept and don't play it all the way through. Like, they're coming for your ass. You know what I'm saying? Even like the Fantastic Four, she's in 616. They will jump realities to come fuck you up for what you did. You know what I'm saying?
So you know what? They set it up for the 616 to be in the Secret War with the Incursion stuff. So everything, once you started, you got Clea who can go through dimensions, cut open, whatever, right? And so once you start investing in the incursions and timelines actually crashing into each other, universes starting to crash into each other, it just opened up so many layers and so many possibilities where they can do the storytelling, where you could actually, because you know what I'm saying, they're gonna do a second season of What If. You could do a hell of a lot of stuff with What If now. You know what I'm saying? Once you have this as the baseline.
And we didn't even see that version of Doctor Strange. I thought when he went into that incursion planet, I thought that was that Doctor Strange from What If, but that guy is still floating out there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's terrifying.
Isn't he trapped in like in a separate universe?
It's like it's self-imposed. It's self-imposed.
Yeah.
He's guarding Ultron and overpowered
Killmonger.
You know what I'm saying? But what if all three of them just come to a sense of, you know, like, hey, you know what? Because they went through that. They went through that cartoon like universe when they was falling with America Chavez. That's dope. And you know, because that's letting you know that all of it's tied together, whether it's animation or live action, it don't matter what happens, it's all connected, it's all real. It don't matter if it's animated or not. And like that Spider-Man is going to really delve into the multiversal stuff. So I'm starting to kind of come on to start to understand the whole shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say I'm a Kevin Feige fan right now, but I'm starting to see his vision, man. It's starting to come together, man. This guy's starting to prove that this guy might be on some legendary shit, man.
Yo, man, there's some heavy words coming from you, fam.
Man, I don't know. It took what, 12, 13 years for me to start to see it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Better late than never.
Right.
Well, I appreciate that one, man. You kind of, I appreciate you finally coming to the light. You know, Marvel. I don't know how it took you 10 years, but I'm just glad you got here because
I don't know, because I'm a purist, man, and I feel like a lot of the stories aren't as great without all the characters. You know what I'm saying?
You got to admit though, because of business reasons, they were able to navigate these rough times because they made shit work with Reed Richards, which is incredible because Reed Richards is a very important person in the whole Marvel universe. But they were like, you know what, we're gonna just do it off Tony. And it worked. Every day rolled the dice.
I mean, it worked, but for me, man, like I'm a true like diehard Marvel fucking fan, right? So I'm reading these books, and I'm like, the books were so amazing, and just to kind of see like a really dummied down version of it, even though you couldn't fully execute it, I felt like you shouldn't even try to execute it until you had the characters. You know what I'm saying? Because what we got, it was, you know, if they did a Civil War now, oh my goodness, man, the storytelling would just be amazing, man, because you got way more characters and the stakes are higher. You got governmental operatives. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more going than just 7 people on either side decide now we just want to be beefed out with each other. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't good storytelling.
I dig it. But we'll see. I mean, again, this is kicking off. We're midway through phase 4. I'm not sure I'm convinced as you are yet as to what the overall big picture is. I don't see it yet, but I think Doctor Strange was a hell of a way to kick it off. And we can go
I think the overall shit is gonna be the secret after the invasion. It's gonna be the Secret Wars, and then the incursions is what's gonna like be the end of this phase we're in, and then it's gonna usher in the next phase where it's a joint Spider-Man can swing in and talk to Mr. Fantastic universe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All of it's gonna be kind of combined outside of like the Sony stuff.
We're gonna see. But you know, the bar's been raised after watching Doctor Strange, so I'm just looking forward to what's next, man.
Definitely.
True indeed.
All right, well, shit. We gonna. That being said, we're just gonna wrap this one up. As far as Doctor Strange go, we love to hear the feedback and how the internet's felt. We kind of get the gist of how the internet's felt. I think everybody. I don't want to say everybody. I never want to say everybody, but I think the majority of people really rock with this movie the same way we did. So I just, chime in on the discussion and see if we pointed out something we missed or something you didn't peep that we did. You know what I mean? I don't know. Fresh, you got anything more to add?
Olsen should get either like a best supporting actress award or main actress award, because Olsen was phenomenal. Like, literally, I hate Wanda's guts. Like, you literally, you know what I mean? Like, I've been told by many women that I'm emotionally unavailable, but like this right here got my emotions in you know what I'm saying, in topsy-turvy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she did an excellent job, man. She did an excellent job. She really sold the villain in this movie, man, and she was unapologetic about it. She knew she was a villain, and she didn't care. And I appreciate. Don't have to always just be, like they said, like, well, you gonna kill her and take her power, and she like, well, what if my kids get sick? You know what I'm saying? She like, I gotta. While I got this motherfucker, I might as well take her powers. You know what I'm saying? While I'm at it, it's always gonna be an answer in the multiverse for my kids. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing this, and I know it's messed up, but I'm gonna do it anyway, and I can appreciate that.
They're gonna start calling you the anti-hero, then you can appreciate that.
I can appreciate a villain just being a villain. It don't always got to be some deep, Thanos. Oh, I'm a good guy, but I got to do some messed up stuff for a little bit, and
yeah,
everybody love him for it. Just like she said, Doctor Strange did what he did, and he was lauded as a hero. And what she did, she's a villain, and she don't understand why.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
She was a villain, and that's
on some straight up Karen shit, not understanding.
Yeah. Facts. I don't realize enslaving people will make me a villain. Like, really, bitch, huh?
You didn't know that. Okay.
They was happy when they was with me. I fed them, I clothed them.
they sung songs at night. They did a couple of jigs.
We sung at the fire together.
It was a ripping party when somebody had 2 spoons.
We was happy. Those times we was happy. They was real happy people.
It was watermelon and chicken for everyone.
They ate good. Right.
Oh man, all under the southern sky. I mean,
right.
Oh man, yeah, you got assessment. She's the ultimate Karen, but we'll see, man. We'll see what the internet feel. I hope they feel like us, but. On that note, we're going to wrap it up tonight on this episode of Basement Protagonist with our highly anticipated Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness review. I hope you enjoyed listening. As always, you can find us on the YouTubes, Spotify, Apple Music, and everywhere podcasts are available. So please tune in. And as always, like, subscribe, and comment. And with that being said, guys, we're going to wrap it up tonight. Shout out to the enslaver Wanda, but she's out of there.
No shout outs to that evil bitch.
no shouts out. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, she's out here enslaving people. What am I thinking? Well, but anyway, let's just go ahead and wrap it up, fellas. I've said it like 5 times now, so let's just be done with it. And on that note, we'll get at you next time, internet. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.